All right. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Jackman Radio Burns the News. For me and my guy, my homeboy right here, Hokey Mike Jackman, just shoot the shit for like an hour and talk about Clown World and what's going on and review some media that we've enjoyed. So, what's going on, man? How you doing there, duties?
I'm doing well, man. You know, another summer day, you know, about 80 degrees here in the Granite State. Enjoying the summer and, you know, kind of looking forward to fall time, but still definitely enjoying summer as much as possible.
Quite a weekend we had.
Yeah, we packed in a lot, didn't we?
Yeah, let's see. What did we do?
What did we do on Friday?
I'm trying to remember what we did on Friday. Did we go somewhere?
That's a good question.
Oh, I did a podcast, and then we went out to dinner with Reed.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we had the Liberty Chinese Feast.
Yeah, Liberty China Feast at Golden Walk over in Jaffrey.
It's tasty.
Yeah, Reed came through town, and we went out, got some feasties, and then hung out for a little bit. I think you and I were both really tired.
Yeah, I think we were out of steam. You know, we're not 36 yet, but we're pretty damn close.
Yeah, hashtag this is 40.
Yeah, that's the joke. And then
Saturday we went to Patty's.
Yeah, Jackman Radio alum Patty Miner. We're going to be getting back on here at some point soon. We went over and grilled sausages and chicken, and he had like marinated teriyaki chicken. Really tasty. Fenway sausages. Instead of spending $9, they were less, and the beers weren't $15. They were a lot less.
No, yeah, the beers were cold. They were definitely cold. We had Corona Light and Modelo.
Yeah, it's a good summer beer.
Yeah.
So this is what we're drinking today to kind of,
and then we
come down from the weekend, you know.
And then we were up pretty late Saturday. We were supposed to watch the Yankees and Red Sox. That was kind of the auspices of going over to Patty's, but we didn't even end up putting the game on, man. We just had so much fun doing a 90s time travel into 90s music, like all of our hits too. I heard Patty busted out some tunes, dude, I hadn't thought of in like 20 years.
Yeah, just when you thought you could get one in there or stump, he played like, Everclear, Marcy Playground,
Stump the Schwab, you know,
E6, Lit.
Yep, and then you played that one,
Green Day.
All I want's to be with you.
Oh yeah, Toad the Wet Sprocket.
Toad the Wet Sprocket reminds me of Boats.
We did Teenage Dirtbag by Wheatus.
Yeah, how does that go, Mike? I'm just a teenage dirtbag. Then how does the beat go?
It's like, every 90s tune is like, there's some variation of that. You know, we did Santa Monica. Like,
I am still living with your ghost. Only dreaming of the West Coast.
Yeah, we did a bunch of 90s hits, man, and just had some suds and kind of almost sat in the dark. I mean, it was a real throwback kind of hang. It's like being on the Orca in Jaws.
Yeah, then we went to the other part of his place, the in-law apartment, and that table, we called it the Orca because it was like...
It was small.
It was just big enough for the three of us.
You know, he lives in a pretty sizable estate. We decided we wanted to hang in a small like corner.
Yeah,
we had tunes
we were gonna all sit on the couch, and I'm like, let's sit at the table and just keep the tunes going and the drinks. So those are really like my favorite nights, man. You just get with a couple of friends, close friends, and you grill up, have some suds and some tunes, and just catch up in person. You know?
Yeah, you can't beat that, man. You know, everyone's been relegated to a screen the last couple of years, so to be able to get that face to face is pretty friggin' nice.
It's precious, man. You gotta do it as much as you can.
Yeah, I know. And then yesterday we had our aunt up for the day. Our Auntie Annie came up and made us cheeseburgers and tater tots, and we just had a blast hanging out. So family and friends all weekend, man. That's what it's all about.
That was the whole weekend, wasn't it?
That's why we grind during the week to be able to get to do that on the weekend. It's nice.
Yeah, we live for it.
You know, you catch any good media lately? Watch anything?
Yeah, well, I know you already reviewed it, but I watched Prey, the new Predator.
What'd you think about it? That you watched it separately from me.
Yeah, I really liked it, man. I was pleasantly surprised and blown away by how good it was. I didn't really expect a lot out of it, but man, that lead actress there, she was freaking awesome.
Yeah, she was really good.
She was powerful, and the use of practical effects, man, was really good.
Yeah, I like that too. I guess the guy that got playing the Predator used to be an NBA player or a pretty well-known college player.
He played at UNH.
From Mass.
Yeah, he's
from
from
UNH.
Mass. Yeah, he played at UNH for 4 years.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I looked him up. I'm like, who is that big guy? I think he's like 6'9" or something.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite's the original that they had, Kevin Michael Hall or Kevin Peter Hall, but he did Predator and Predator 2, and sadly he passed away from AIDS after a blood transfusion. He contracted HIV.
Yeah, it was a blood transfusion gone wrong.
Yeah, but
Dude,
I mean,
it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it's like in Star Wars. They got that Finnish basketball player to be Chewie now.
Oh,
I think he does a really good job with it.
Yeah.
You know, they got Peter Mayhew before he passed, did a little bit on Force Awakens and kind of coached and trained the new guy to play Chewie. His name's like Juno Sotorio or something.
Yeah. Did they have Mayhew in the full suit, though, for Force Awakens?
I think the only shot they had was there's one shot of Han getting on the Millennium Falcon or Chewie in the Falcon kind of in the pilot seat, and that was Peter Mayhew. But other than that, I don't think he did much because he had health problems and he wasn't able to really move that well. So they got a younger actor to do it. But I mean, there was some worry that like Star Wars Predator was going to go. I don't think it did. I think it really threaded the needle really well and balanced the line on that.
Yeah. No, the Prey was great, and I look forward to seeing what they're going to put out next in that series because Predators was really good with Adrian Brody.
Yeah, I like that one.
I like that.
That was the best one in my opinion since this one, Prey.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. The other ones are. I'm not really big on Alien versus Predator and all that.
Yeah, it's not that great.
Much for me.
No.
And then the other newer one they made is I'm just going to pretend they didn't even make that movie.
Yeah, The Predator in 2018.
It was bad.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
They didn't have Arnold in it either.
No, they kind of teased that might bring it. Yeah, but they didn't do it. Then they were teasing for years that they're going to do another Conan movie, like Old Man Conan, but they haven't done that yet. So I don't know what Arnold. I don't know his output since he's been back. It hasn't been the best.
He just turned 78 or 74.
75.
Oh, 75. Okay.
I think he's 75. Yeah. I mean, how many more movies are they going to be able to squeeze out of his head, Eric? Like, how many more times are they going to be able to use his head and weaponize it?
Yeah, I think he was born in 48.
47.
Let me look.
He's born in 47, and I think
yeah, you're right. He was born July 30th, 1947. So yeah, he just hit the big 75.
It's crazy how a lot of our major actors and celebrities and politicians are all like in their 70s.
How old's he now?
Seagal's got to be pushing 70. He's, I would say, 68 or 69 at this point.
Here's what I was thinking.
I was thinking Putin gives me a passport and one of his castles, and we could talk about shooting a new action movie on the bridge in Belarus.
We'll be in the Donbass. Yeah, tell me about Seagal. So he's 70, Mike. He was born in
52.
He turned 70 this year. So he was he was in some kind of video shilling for the Russian Federation, right?
Yeah, they had him in like it was like a bombed out factory or some kind of place where they, of course, they blamed it on the Ukrainian forces. Yeah, I mean, I've seen stuff like this before, and this was definitely not what they're saying it is. These are like little rockets that come in, and that came out from those forces. So they got him there with it's basically like a do-rag.
Yeah.
With the yellow tinge goggles and then something to girdle him, something to make him kind of...
Yeah, he's tucked and girdled.
Something to tighten his
like
big
a horse blanket they put him in.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I wear black. It's slimming. I find black to be very slimming, and when I'm doing my work in my dojo, it makes me look good, and it makes me able to compete on a level like I did back in Above the Law. I mean, he hasn't been relevant in close to 30 years.
Oh, he's so washed up.
He was washed up by like 98.
I mean, it's just straight to streaming garbage that he does now with a bunch of... It's just him fighting Eurotrash for like 80 minutes.
They have him sitting in a stool in like some rundown restaurant that they scouted.
Just incredible.
These shadowy people are coming in here doing bad things. CIA, DOD, HBO, FBI, NSA, NST, NFT, and they just... So most of the movie is him kind of blowing gas, pontificating in the said location. And then they have a younger dude. When I say younger, I mean, a dude in his 50s running around, like Scott Adkins or some washed up MMA or, 90s action star who handles all the heavy lifting for the movie, which is totally unrelated to the A story with Seagal sitting in the other location. And then at the very end, they bring Seagal and they hand him a little plastic toy gun and they have him conduct the raid. He's the tip of the spear on the raid.
And then in post-production, they FX and real cheesy gun fire.
Yeah, with fake blood. Yeah. And then they have him do like a couple chops and a couple of moves with the upper part of his body. He saves the girl who's like 50 years younger than him, and then
they
goes
film
off
him like from here up.
Yeah, it's
who's putting down the money for these movies, Mike?
It's got to just be some kind of money laundering operation.
Drug dealers from Romania, Bulgaria.
Yeah, diamond merchants. Rare. Monkey scalpers, people who scalp like giraffes, monkeys, and exotic. You know what I mean? Like, we got to move this money out of this account for the monkey scalpers and the ivory collectors, who are actually really good friends of mine and devout preservationists. And we gotta get this diamond into the Kremlin for Vlad.
Preserving their bank accounts is what they're all about. The preservation that they're all about.
I mean, he's never coming back to America.
Oh God, no. He flirted with the Q bullshit a little bit when the allegations flared up against him.
Did he really?
We're going to be talking about the deep state. I'm working with some people, some pretty serious people, some heavy hitters. I have reason to believe, Mike, he was in touch with Robert David Steele, like that kind of grift, that kind of
sex slaves on Mars.
Yeah, yeah, that guy, man. I can't believe. I just can't believe that, the amount of attention that guy was able to get.
Yeah, that op.
Yeah, exactly.
It's some kind of op.
It's just complete fantastical bullshit mixed in with some real stuff.
We are going to be fighting the deep state, so send me 11 million rubles, and you won't believe what's next. Vladimir Putin is one of the world's greatest leaders of all time and the world's greatest living leader. It's like, wow.
Yeah, he went on Good Morning Britain and did that.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
I mean, yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to come back to the States because of that image and because of the allegations against him, which are out there. You can Google them and look them up. We don't need to.
Yeah, I have no reason to not believe they're true.
I need you to look. I got a problem with the script in your part. It's very complex and it's very specific. I need you to come into my dressing room at midnight and bring your copy of the script so we can work on our intimacy.
I need you to wear a leprechaun bikini.
So we can really get open up the door. He's wearing like a Komodo.
It's incredible. I did watch a whole episode of Sam Tripoli Tinfoil Hat podcast, and he had on the freaking Michael Jackson faked his death guy. And
is he a dude who theorizes that, or is he a guy saying he's Michael Jackson?
No, he's a guy theorizing it that MJ faked his death, and they showed footage of this really weird looking dude who's out parading with MJ's kids now. And he's like on a yacht with them, and he's like fully dressed, has weird glasses. It looks like a disguise. It looks like the disguise that V wears in V for Vendetta when he is out, and about.
And when he gives the inspector all the information.
Yeah. He looks like that. I'll have to send it to you, but
yeah, I need to see that. What is this dude's central theory about Michael Jackson?
So Conrad Murray was in on it, to take the fall. And him and his family are compensated, and even the whole, or maybe it's not even that, the whole courtroom is fake. Like all the court theatrics and what you saw at the courthouse and stuff in the trial of Conrad Murray was like all actors.
This is a set? Dude, that's amazing.
There's like a stuffed animal in the courtroom that's kind of weird. You're like, why is there a stuffed animal there? And then, it's some kind of Q adjacent hooey, which is very entertaining, and I'm definitely here for it. But
when you need something entertaining, man, you can, you look at that. Obviously, it's not something you really believe or really would think is real, but it's fun to look at. But the problem is a lot of that shit bleeds into the real research and the real good information, and then people get confused, and then they throw the baby out with the bathwater, and then when you bring that stuff up, it's just, that's just QAnon nonsense.
And then they do a little bit of the JFK Jr. Type treatment where MJ was really tight with Donald Trump and he lived in Trump Tower. Michael's a very good friend of mine. He lives in Trump Tower. And I guess he did. I guess MJ had a place at Trump Tower for years.
I used to play video games with Don Jr.
They talk.
The impression almost bleeds into Lindsey Graham. Those are.
I used to play video games with Don Jr. We would play Mario Kart and Donkey Kong.
Like, I'm pretty sure that's real, Eric. Like,
Oh, please.
Oh yeah, no, there's pictures of him.
he was the au pair for Don Jr., and he taught him a lot. He had him in the morning, and Jeffrey Epstein had him in the afternoon, and they did great things.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean,
But yeah, MJ, they have a whole bunch of funny, weird things that they say about it, and that MJ faked his death as part of the Great Awakening that he revealed. It's like a Christ kind of thing. I'm here for it, dude. It was fascinating. I mean, he said some of the stuff that the guy laid out was a little weird.
you're like, wait a minute.
You're like, If maybe
That's
if
like-
I had eaten a few heroic caps of mushrooms and watched this, this would be real.
That's like when we had Mark Devlin on. He's like, there's a guy who appears in this interview, and this is shortly after David Bowie allegedly passed away, and he looks just like David Bowie, but no one had ever seen him before. I did a quick Google of that guy. I mean, he has been around. Like, I had never heard that claim before, and I'm going to go ahead and say I disagree with Mark's assessment that that's David Bowie.
They also show the burn victim dude that Michael Jackson knew when he was alive.
Yeah, that guy died, right?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he did.
It was
Yeah,
weird.
recently.
So that guy's name was also a name that Michael Jackson would use when legitimately he would put on a disguise.
Okay.
When MJ would be disguised and just to go out in public and like go to the movies.
Yeah.
He would use that guy's name, and like, so there was that, and then who was Brando's son? Miko Brando, who was tight with Michael Jackson.
Yeah, Nico, I think. Nico.
They had him there.
The one who died.
Yeah, they had him there like shortly after on Larry King Live on CNN doing an interview with that burn victim dude, and the guy in Tripoli was like, "Dude, that could be Michael Jackson, like in prosthetics, like in makeup, pretending to play him," because they do like a voice comparison to the real burn victim dude, and he sounded totally different than the guy that was on Larry King, and it sounded a little bit like Michael Jackson.
Dude, that's amazing.
It's Andy Kaufman kind of fucker.
I was just about to say it's like Bob Zamuda.
Yeah.
Playing Tony Clifton. It was revealed that it wasn't always Andy Kaufman behind that makeup, that they would share the character. And Zamuda's still alive, and he's done several appearances since Andy Kaufman passed away back in the 80s. And of course, you got people who think he's still alive. And
right. I mean, that's the thing. Like, people do fake their death. Like that does happen. And
yeah.
If you were someone of the means of Michael Jackson and you actually like planned it for years, it's probably something you could get away with for a little while.
Yeah, I think now would be harder to get away with, though, man. I mean, I don't know. Like, obviously, earlier this year, kind of for fun, I did a whole deep dive into the Paul is Dead stuff and the whole Paul McCartney, William Campbell. I don't know. I mean, you're right. People do fake their death. And on one of the last streams I did, I was talking about that guy who was dating Olivia Newton-John, who there were actually investigators who went down to Mexico because that guy was on a boat, with other people, and the boat docked, and he was no longer on the boat. So they were like, "We didn't get the count." Then they're like, "Well, maybe he took off on another boat," or like it was a whole thing. And one of the investigators was like, "Oh yeah, we pinpointed his location from an IP address. He used a computer down there somewhere." Nothing ever came of it. The guy's probably dead, but you never know. I mean, really? he owed people thousands of dollars, and he had some issues going on in his life. So
what? Maybe he killed himself and jumped off the boat.
It could be that, or it could be that he had something set up where he got on another boat and went and he's living comfortably somewhere else. He doesn't want to be bothered. So we got a couple chats here. It looks like.
Yeah, do you want me to put them up, or you want to put them up?
You can put them up.
I'll put them up. All right.
Looks like the morning.
We'll start with our Patreon. You got to always be promoting.
Folks, yeah, guys.
Alex
okay, you do it, Alex.
No, go ahead, Mike. What were you going to say?
I was going to say we're moving into a studio in September. We're going to get all new gear. We need all the help we can get. Become a patron. We have 30 patrons. Send tips right to Eric on Venmo. Those are both really good ways. But yeah, we are moving into a studio, which we announced, and we're going to need all the help.
So if you want to become a patron, $5-10 a month, patreon.com/Jackman Radio. Go on there, support us, do what you can. We love you and we appreciate it. And then if that's not your thing, if you got Venmo, just want to tip us for the stream or the entertainment, the joy that we bring you, right on Venmo, Senator Jackman 86. Send us some love on there. Biden inflation's real, man. The price of everything's going up. God damn it, the price of crack is up. Hunter's mad about that.
Yeah, I was talking to Hunter how much a pound of crack costs, and he told me what it was, and I went, oh my God, I got to go back to sniffing Jill and Nancy Pelosi's hair to get that high because I can't afford it.
Yeah.
A guy like me taking an Amtrak every day down to Scranton, I can't afford to be out there buying that kind of crack. I only get that high from sniffing the senator's little daughter.
Oh,
But I can't do that anymore because I don't want to be out of the crypt. Come on, man.
that's horrific, Mike. Mark Delvin rocks, literally. But yeah, Mark does rock.
That one's awesome.
We had an awesome convo with him, man. I really enjoyed him and liked him, and we'll definitely want to get him back on again.
Yeah, he's done some really cool research. I might not agree with everything he says, but so what? You know?
No, it's definitely fascinating. General Meow Meow wants to know what they missed. Essentially, we're just talking about people faking their death. Michael Jackson, Steven Seagal, yeah, shilling for Putin. Yeah, so that's what we got so far. So what else is going on, man? What?
Well, I mean, they even went into my safe, Eric. Okay, they went into my safe. What's your take on the raid?
I mean, I think it's kind of serious, Mike, because they wouldn't have done that, man, if they didn't have something. You know what I mean? That's pretty outrageous. Going to the private home of a president, a former president. You know, say what you will about Trump and whichever president it is. I mean, there's got to be a damn good reason for the fucking feds to be storming a president's house and going in and removing items from their property.
Apart from the fact that they hate him and they don't want him to run again, and
yeah,
a lot of this is mostly political. And you think you think there's that like an espionage thing, or what do you?
I mean, I think Trump using the Espionage Act claim is just complete bullshit.
Yeah,
you know.
Did you see Rand introduce the bill to outlaw that?
He wants to repeal it, or what's the story with that?
Yeah, I think he wants to get rid of it, and I think that would benefit Julian Assange and Snowden, because isn't essentially what Assange is facing is a really dated espionage thing, and he's looking at 135 years or something like that.
Isn't that what they used too for John Kiriakou, violation of the Espionage Act?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure.
He did 32 months in federal prison or longer than
something
that.
Like that, yeah,
something like that.
Just under 3 years, I think.
But Garland, it's like he obviously he's Biden's guy, so he's the attorney general, and
right.
There's a lot in the FBI that are still loyal to the Clintons and Obama, and of course to Biden. Right. Biden's been in the game, man, for 5 decades. I think a lot of people forget that sometimes. Like, even though he's braiding his mush now and he's like Dr. Magoo or Mr. Magoo, he's the dude's been connected. He's been in he's been in this mafia, this DC entrenched mafia for 5 decades. So, he's still got a lot of favors he can call in, and he still has connections with all the agencies. And I think it's like any organization. Yeah, it's like any organization, man. There's going to be factions that are going to be loyal to certain figures, and a lot of them probably bided their time when the king was in there for 4 years. Now that Brandon's in there and that whole crew, they're going to do what they can. The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, I don't want him to run again, but I think though this could partly backfire because I think it's going to really rally the MAGA faithful, Mike, and it's going to even put further gasoline on the idea that Trump really is an agent of change or he really is in opposition to the so-called deep state and the swamp and the federal law enforcement intelligence agencies.
Yeah, I mean, he still enjoys a huge amount of support, dude, across the country. And like you said, this could definitely really rally the troops and really, get them fired up. And there's always going to be people, unfortunately, that are going to do stupid things and break the law and commit violence, and the media will seize upon that to try and write a narrative that's every single Trump supporter doing that, and it's just going to further inflame things. So it's definitely a poke in the bear scenario, I think.
Yeah, I think we're in the season now of nuclear MAGA.
This is nuclear MAGA. So we had dark.
We had dark MAGA, ultra MAGA. And then now I think it's the season of the dawn of Aquarius and nuclear.
What do
MAGA.
those faces look like? Do the three faces. Show us what the first one. What's the first one? That's Dark MAGA?
Ultra MAGA.
Ultra. Show us what that looked like. Kind of give us a little. Okay, so that's Ultra MAGA. Now show us Dark MAGA. Okay, that's like the one where he's on the cover of the magazine. He's like, yeah, his Crippled America. And now what's Nuclear MAGA do? What's that look like? Yeah.
We will build. We are going
to
build.
What's next? Kryptonite MAGA, you know?
Yeah.
He's like flying.
Ivermectin MAGA.
Yeah.
So, I mean, aren't they suggesting that some of the files that he had were related to our nuclear program?
Yeah, supposedly he had declassified them before he took them.
And then
and
stuff about France?
There was something in there about France, and then there was also something in there about Roger Stone's pardon, which Roger Stone has said he doesn't know anything about. So, and, he very well may not. I mean, I don't know. It could be much ado about nothing. It could be them really trying to get him on this, because if they want to go after him for other stuff, that's shit that they're guilty of too. So it's like,
well, yeah, that's the point. The Libertarian Party is so brilliantly doing with their messaging now. Is like, if you really wanted to go after Trump, about his ties to Epstein, they couldn't do it because the Clintons are connected to it too, and everyone on this supposed other side, which we know there isn't really another side. It's really all one big club, as Carlin says.
Yeah, it's a gang. It's a big gang.
It's a big gang.
Ron Paul, it's the war party. They're all warmongers, and they're all grifters.
It's a what is it a policy of, Mike?
It's a policy of
Pilfering.
Pilfering. It's a pilfering policy.
Pilfering.
He's not wrong about that. How good was that, man? Talking to Ron Paul, that was a dream come true, man.
Dude, that was awesome.
That was so cool, man. He was so gracious with his time, and yeah, great chat, man. I love that.
We got a question here from Zoe. Who took the pic with the Biden brothers in the thumbnail? Is that Mike? How'd you run into those creeps? So actually, that's not Mike. That's me. That's me. And that is the morning of the Iowa caucus in 2008. Out in, I think I was in Des Moines, Iowa. I think that's where I was, somewhere in Iowa. And Biden was doing a very early morning event, and his brother was there with him, kind of, campaigning with him. And, Biden was really low in the polls. And I think at that point he was just running to kind of, maybe position himself as a viable vice presidential pick for either Hillary or Obama, whatever Obama he was going to be. And that was my second or third time meeting Biden, because I had met him before with you, Mike, here in New Hampshire.
Yeah, we met him in 2006, actually, in Keene, New Hampshire. He spoke at Keene High School.
And Brandon really was a lot sharper then, dude. He was a totally different Brandon.
He was. Yeah, he was slick.
You and Hinckley and I, our buddy Hinckley, who we would go to all these political events, had a running joke and commented on how we observed Biden really like touchy-feely with like the old women. I mean, not just, he doesn't just like the young little girls to smell. I like to get here and talk to Eustace, because Eustace, she's the foundation of America. And we got Gladys here and Phyllis. And he would kind of massage him a little bit, Mike, and be kind of sensual.
Very, very close with the old ladies. Yeah, he was really pimping himself out. That was noticeable.
Yeah.
It was definitely noticeable. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was interesting. And then Jordan says, is it possible he was actually Dark Brandon then? He could have been Brandon the Dark.
Yeah, it was prequel era Brandon.
Yeah, come on, man. So he would have been like, what, 65 at that point, Mike?
Yeah, 65, 66. So he was a young man.
Yeah.
He's a young man compared to, now.
God, he's a corpse now, dude. It's just sad.
Yeah, he's like the Sam Raimi Evil Dead Doctor Strange multiverse version of Doctor Strange that's dead, but it's reanimated. Doctor Strange possesses it in Evil Dead style to fight.
Dr.
That's what we're seeing. Yeah, Dr. Brandon. Kamala just puts a couple of digits in my sphincter and it gets me going for the day. She's kind of puppeteering it.
Jill hooks my nipples up to a car battery.
It's like Weekend at Bernie's,
Yeah, it's
amazing. It's elderly abuse. I mean,
yeah, we got to just enjoy the ride, Mike.
Yeah. Oh, I'm having fun.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
I like the gas prices. I like how much it costs to get groceries. I like all that.
Everything
feels good.
so fucking expensive now, man. I go to Shaw's and you get like a bag or two, and you're like $60. I got like some cheese and like turkey.
Yeah.
You know, that's it.
Yeah.
Like a couple of drinks. Where does $60 go?
Pretty
Come on,
much, man. Yeah, come on, man. Well, we're going to be in our Metapod soon, so it's not going to matter. Won't matter what stuff costs, man. Our social credit score will pay for it.
Yeah. I watched on Twitter today, the Ron Paul Institute put out a tweet, so I'm assuming it was probably Dan McBase, our friend Dan McAdams, of they squish down like larvae, like worms, and then they extract like a grease from that, and they use that grease as a dairy substitute for butter.
Oh.
And then they took it and actually like baked bread and made like a sweet bread with it. And then they went out to a mall and they told the people what it was. They said, you know, what was in it, what it was made of, and would you be willing to try this? And they actually got some fucking people to eat it. And it was so disgusting.
Oh.
And it was like only a certain percentage of the bug worm juice was mixed in. And I think this was in England. It would make sense if it was in England, you know. And they're like, would you try it again? He's like, yeah, I'd probably eat that again. And a few people were like, oh, no, that's gross. And then when they upped the percentage of the different loaf of bread for the amount of worm juice that they put in it, people could really taste the difference. And it was just disgusting. Like they're selling that, man. They're selling that shit.
That's the 2030 thing to see how many people they can get to go along with that. That's all. I mean,
crush up and feed us bugs.
I like that. Is it Boris Johnson? Is he pushing that? Is that part of the new Boris Johnson initiative? I much like that. I like that better than the other stuff that I spread on with my marmalade. You know,
it's just, you know, a ploy, man, to gut every industry connected to real dairy, farming, you know, having food sovereignty over the corporations. It's just a further corporate squeeze and grab.
Oh, it's like a Monsanto Coca-Cola version of that.
Yeah,
you know, for the dairy industry. And it's like what they're doing with the farmers in what is it, the Dutch farmers
in Holland?
Yeah, where they're just, you know,
they're limiting, they're capping on their productivity, right?
They're saying how many chickens they can have on the poultry farms, how many cows on the, you know, dairy and the beef. So yeah, they're going after that, man. They are doing it, you know, bit by bit. And you don't think, you know, someone like John Kerry, he's still going to be flying around on his jet.
Oh, God,
he's still going to be having steaks, you know, but he doesn't want the rest of us to have that. So, you know, I'm going to be putting Heinz ketchup on it. I'll have the steak with Heinz ketchup.
It's just, I don't know how any of these people think they could just go out in public, you know, and think that it's okay. They're just what they're doing to the world.
Yeah.
You know, how do they sleep?
Well, they'll have Primetime 99 there with the camera talking about their booty.
My favorite big booty Latina.
He's like, look at that big booty. How was it being with him, Eric?
It was everything being with Primetime 99, Alex Stein. He's a sweetheart, man. He's a really nice guy. And, you know, I hung out with him on the steps of the Capitol, and Marjorie Taylor Greene showed up. And it was incredible, Mike. It was an ultra MAGA America First fever dream.
Okay, so it was pre-nuclear MAGA.
Yeah, this was probably ultra, mixed between ultra and dark MAGA.
Okay, post-dark MAGA.
And oh man, it was fun, you know, because his comedy show got canceled in DC because of the fallout from him heckling AOC.
Yeah,
you know, and he's doing Nationalist Capitalist tonight.
Yeah, he's doing Reed's show at like what, 8 or 9 o'clock Eastern time or something like that.
And he did Liberty Lockdown last night too, and I watched a couple of clips from that looked like it went really well too.
Oh, cool. Yeah, dude, Primetime is on the rise, man. Down at the Blaze, and was on Tucker Carlson recently, and he's in an upward trajectory. And he's going to be going back to DC soon, I think in September. For
first week of September, I think he's going to be there. So the politicians better be on alert, man, because Primetime, he's coming, dude. He's always on the grind, Mike.
He asked Jamal Bowman if he thought that Hunter had good taste in prostitutes or something.
He's like, what do you think about the hookers that Hunter has? Are they good looking? That's incredible, Mike.
Dude, it's so good.
I know.
I'm glad that there's someone out there like that, like a drop-dead figure and a.
Yeah, I want to be a little outrageous in the 24 primary here in New Hampshire. So if there's like someone we won't be able to get on the podcast, I want to go with cameras to one of their events and just like, you know, ask them something outrageous like that.
Yeah, go dressed as Trump.
Yeah, we got to do some stuff like that. We're gonna pull some stunts, And
yeah, it's always fun. We always have fun. We always have.
we want to get prime time to New Hampshire too, and come be in studio guests and hang out with us, and we'll give them the whole Peterborough, New Hampshire VIP treatment.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's another reason to support our channel, because we want to have the ability to start like flying, pretty big name, pretty awesome guests here into New Hampshire to come in studio with us, and we can film with them and do that. So we want to keep growing the channel and our budget and our ability to do stuff like that. So Patreon is a great way to support us in that, and keeping us going and just continuing to really have cool and interesting guests.
Yeah, definitely. We got a couple more chats too, I think. Comments or questions. I see General Meow Meow in there. I see you in there.
Ducktail haircut Brandon was the best Brandon. Yellow dog Dixie Crab.
That's 1970s Reconstruction.
Come on, man.
That's putting Kamala on the back of the bus and then picking her as my VP.
Mike Sunset Brandon.
Yeah, well, this is Afterlife.
Yeah.
This is like Zombieland, Brandon.
Come on, man. And then I think that was just in a response to the worm juice, the people eating the worm guts. Yeah.
It's like, seeing how many people we can have put a chin diaper on and keep it on. And still outside in the middle of summer, there's a lot of people who are outside away from people still wearing it, and I don't think they're going to stop wearing it. I think it's a permanent fashion accessory.
It's crazy, man, that PSYOP, what it did, it just melted people's brains, and they're changed forever.
Yeah, I don't think there's any going back from that for a lot of people.
Come on, man.
Yeah, come on, man. You think Brandon's going to be able to do it in 24?
He's going to be into his 80s, Mike.
Yeah, he's going to be a really old 82. Not like
Gavin Newsom, right? He's not going to be like crispy like Bernie Sanders or Ron.
He's not a John Cleese 82.
Yeah. John Cleese is crispy and intact.
That was great. His chat that he had with Nick Gillespie from Reason Magazine.
Yeah, that was good.
That was a really good chat he had about creativity and censorship and all the woke BS. If you haven't had a chance to see that, there's like a 30-minute chat. It's on YouTube. Great discussion, He's out there doing it. The other Pythons, I don't think they're... Well, one of them, I think Terry Jones passed away a year or two ago. Eric Idle's still going, and who else is... Michael Palin is still out there. I think he was doing a travel show, but Cleese is based. Yeah. Remember he was doing that other panel not that long ago with a bunch of kind of young soy performers, and they wanted to boycott him or something.
Hey, didn't they want to kick him off or something?
Yeah, he's just being based.
I don't know.
Based old British guy.
Oh, I know. I see Gavin Newsom definitely like in the wings, wanting to run for president. So, I just don't see how that guy can run. We're run on what they've done in California. You think the rest of the country wants that bullshit?
He'll do well in Massachusetts and New York and California, but
but the rest of the country. That guy, that clown. What did Tim Dillon call him? The wine merchant.
He's a wine merchant. Yeah. They want to pit him against Chad DeSantis there. Chad and Trad DeSantis.
Yeah, we'll have to see how
it's going to work that out, though.
They do. I was going to say we have to see what's going to happen there, Mike.
It's the new season of the Political Apprentice. It's going to be incredible. We're going to have a boardroom session with Kushner and Ivanka and DeSantis, and we might even reanimate Ivana if it's the Halloween special. We'll see what happens. It's called the Hunt for the Safe. Mar-a-Lago and the Hunt. It's the Indiana Jones and the Hunt for the Safe.
Dude, they really buried her at his golf course in Jersey.
That's what I heard. Yeah,
so incredible.
For tax purposes or something, or. I ended up making. The coffin was nice, but I ended up making a lot of money on that deal. Did you read any of the stuff about the funeral? What Don Jr. said in his speech?
I heard Don Jr. talked about how horrible she was. That she was like a heartless bitch, basically. That she was tough on him, and right? Isn't that kind of the gist of it?
Basically, she was harsh. Yeah.
Yeah. No one really had like glowing things, to say about her.
She was very hardworking, though, and I hired a lot of women for Trump Tower, and Ivana oversaw a lot of that, and I thought she did a great job.
It's just incredible, Mike.
I know.
The whole scene there it's like The Sopranos or something.
Yeah, although
Sopranos on acid.
Yeah, he had a lot of support though outside of Mar-a-Lago that was down there doing signs. He had, I got blacks for Trump. I got them out here. You know those guys? They have the T-shirts there that have like the weird some of the Bible end time stuff on it.
It might be connected to some kind of 1-900 number cult that you see. But they're blacks for Trump. Look at my African. Look.
Yeah, well, it's for entertainment purposes. Yeah, we need the cycle to come back.
Yeah.
We need the king to come back and kind of,
I love Reed's intro. I'm going to get a 50 cal and attach it to my Suburban when I did Caitlyn.
Oh, yeah.
What I'm going to do, and we're going to deal with the homeless here out in California, I'm going to get a 50 cal and attach it to my Suburban. And we're going to mow them down. It's mowing season, folks.
That was Caitlyn's plan.
Their ass is grass, and I'm the mower. Surprise!
Oh, check out my new shoe.
So I haven't talked about this yet publicly, but I did get in touch with Caitlyn Jenner's assistant. I just, on a whim, I just tracked down her email address, and I emailed her and said, could we get Caitlyn on, what would it take to get Caitlyn on Jackman Radio? And I got a response that if you want her to come on the show for an hour with pre-prepared topics, that's going to all be screened and agreed to before the interview for an hour, $30,000. $30,000 to get Caitlyn for an interview.
Didn't you respond? What would a half hour cost? Kind of.
I said, okay, how about a half hour? Surprise! And I never heard back. I'm ready.
Caitlyn can command those figures, though, dude.
Yeah. Hey, look, if I had that kind of money laying down, guys, we would have already had Caitlyn on. So, suffice to say, I don't know that we're ever going to really be able to book Caitlyn Jenner unless she's going to run for office again. But even then, Mike, it was amazing. The Caitlyn
Maybe
Jenner
someday. Yeah. Well, to even get that response, I mean, it's better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all.
Surprise! I love Caitlyn, Mike.
Yeah, she's the best.
We got to protect women's sports. It's imperative that we protect women's sports.
Oh God.
Yeah,
a couple of the Jets here.
Just
some
laughing
JD
emojis. He's
good stuff.
Yeah,
and then about this attack on Salman Rushdie, their media is trying to say it was Iran, and it's like, because they issued the fatwa against who was the goal, Bolton, and Bolton was complaining that the bounty wasn't high enough.
Yeah,
they insulted him with some kind of low ball figure, and Rushdie, they've been gunning for him, man, since he came up with that book in the '80s, there, man. But
yeah,
pretty hairy, man. He got stabbed 11 times, and he was on a ventilator, but the last thing I read, he was actually doing better and taken off the ventilator. So hopefully he makes a full recovery.
Yeah, full recovery. H, Mike?
Poopsies.
It's our beloved H6.
Down there golfing with the NHL coaches.
Yeah.
Down in Connecticut, Yeah,
the assistant coach there of the Predators.
Yeah. Speaking of Predators.
That's exclusive.
Yeah.
I'm creasing here in UK. I don't know if I know what that means.
Is creasing like queuing? Like you've got to get in the queue? The queue? Like the line?
Our boy Steve Poikinen.
What's up, Steve?
Bolton would have the hubris to bitch about the price on his head. He absolutely would.
Yeah.
What an asshole. The fact that guy still goes on TV and people listen to him.
Yeah. Well, the best piece of media he was part of was when Lord Horton took him down in that debate. If you could even call it a debate. I mean, it was just a.
Oh, he debated Bolton?
No, I'm sorry. That was Crystal.
William Crystal.
Sorry, I confused my neocons. I got my neocons confused. I got my warmongering deep state neocons confused. Sorry.
Yeah, Bolton wouldn't have the balls to go in the Thunderdome and base Lord Horton.
No.
Freaking murder walrus. He is a murder walrus. I was originally thinking of hiring him for my administration. I didn't like his mustache. I didn't like the way it looked. So I passed on him at first, and then I made him what did the king make him? Ambassador to
2018. He was national security advisor.
Yeah.
He was ambassador to the UN under Bush, which they did like on Christmas Day or something back in like 2000.
Yeah, that was a recess appointment.
Yeah, they kind of weaseled him.
They weaseled him in, yeah.
They really did, yeah. And he even thought about running for president at one point too, Bolton. So
yeah,
I mean, I would love it if he did, or if he was a surrogate for someone up here in New Hampshire to try and get a camera in his face.
Go throw a dog shit at him.
Like when we saw Homeland Security Secretary there.
Oh God, Tom Ridge.
Yeah,
that was foolish.
That clip is still on our channel if you guys haven't seen that. But Eric's there. You're there talking to Tom Ridge as Trump and like just making a mockery of the whole thing.
It's a complete fever dream, Mike.
Being all cutesy, you know.
Because Tom Ridge was like Freddy Krueger to you and I in high school.
Yeah,
with the terror alert levels. He was our Freddy Krueger, Mike.
Some days it might be yellow, other days it might be orange, and then even on the rare occasion, they might go all the way up to red, depending on how close to the election day they were.
God.
And you were like, would you say, hi, my name is Tom Ridge, and if you don't listen to Jackman Radio, I'm going to raise the terror alert level to orange. He's like, I'm not going to say that. Remember you said that to him?
Yeah, I asked him to do that.
He was trying to tell us to promote Jeb Bush.
Jeb Bush, yeah. And I was
Jeb's very low energy. Yeah,
Donald Trump, baby. He's like, no, not Trump. They fucking hate him, Mike. They hate the king.
Remember that thing they released? What was it in the National Review? All those neocon ghouls and foreign policy dudes who just totally tried to campaign against him and speak out against him. It was like 100 or 200 of them that signed some kind of letter, and he probably ended up hiring like 25% of them anyways.
Yeah,
right. I brought John Bolton in so I could fart in his face and then kick him out, so he could do the walk of shame and write a book.
Good God, Mike. I guess there's some good nuggets in his book though about dealing with Rocket Man and that whole deal. Just seeing how unprepared or unknowledgeable the king was on the whole deal, and he just shot from the hip, Mike, which is what I love.
Bolton was on hand for that meeting with Kim Jong-un, wasn't he?
Yeah. I'm sure Bolton's inclinations were probably, war and sanctioning and bombs.
Oh, he was trying to get a blow dart from Sidney Gottlieb to shoot at the Rocket Man when they were having the lunch. He was trying to figure out how he could sprinkle some poison into his soup or Big Mac, whatever they were eating.
He's like, here, he goes to Trump, give Rocket Man this Diet Coke. Special Diet Coke.
Special from Langley.
Yeah, it came up from it's a Fort Detrick Diet Coke, Infowars.com. Dude, it's also incredible, Mike.
Dude, Alex's War, though, the documentary, amazing. Dude, we both got a chance to watch that, dude. How good was that? It's
so worth watching, man. It really, for someone like us, we've been into Alex Jones since, 06?
Yeah, 05, 06. We've known about him.
06. So we've known about him for a while in the many phases that he's been. And for a lot of people, he's just the Sandy Hook guy. He besmirched, the families of Sandy Hook. And, you hear all that. And this documentary really, colors in the whole story, Mike, about his background.
It goes back to the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, how he came up, his family, how he got into what he did. And it's quite a story, man.
Yeah, it is.
I was sitting at my table, there was German immigrants there talking about, the NASA rocket program. And then, my dad was friends with some Birchers, and there were some NSA people, some NASA people.
My mom was friends with hippies from Berkeley.
Yeah, he had that whole stew going on, at the kitchen table.
Yeah, it's like a modern day Forrest Gump,
Dude, the section they did on him going into Bohemian Grove is worth it alone just to watch. And then when he goes to the Georgia Guidestones, I don't want to give too much away, but just those two segments, and it's a 2-hour and 10-minute documentary. It's pretty beefy.
Yeah,
it
was good though. It was worth the watch, and what's nice? It's just a fly on the wall documentary, man. It's not. I'm gonna interject my opinion. It's one way or the other. I don't like him. I like him. He's a hero. He's a villain. Here he is.
Yeah, she wasn't propagandizing him, but it also wasn't a smear and a hate campaign.
Yeah,
it just. Exactly. She got access, Eric. She was afforded access.
Yeah, the access was incredible. How at end times it was to Emmerich at the Capitol. He said, we're going to go around. We got a permit to speak up there. He didn't want people to go into the Capitol.
Yeah, no, he didn't. He wasn't telling people to do that. Yeah, contrary to what the media
he was telling them, don't fight the cops here and don't play into their hands, So
Yeah, and it does show you how the mainstream media is just how disgusting and vile they are, and they lie for their purposes and for their overlords. And the whole Sandy Hook thing, I didn't agree with what he was doing back then and saying, but he has a right to question it. I mean, everybody has a right to freedom of speech to question any major event like that. Was he knowingly lying and saying things he knew not to be true? I mean, I don't know. I mean, they show in the documentary that he goes on air oftentimes without doing a lot of really deep research to verify certain things, like any news show does. So he has apologized for it, and I think I even saw that he's going to have some of the families on his show, or he's invited them on. So that they really want to just paint him as the Sandy Hook guy,
yeah.
They definitely want to just have that be his legacy, and so,
And Puck wants to know thoughts on the Woodstock documentary. We watched that together.
Oh yeah, that was great. I mean, there was another one that came out that was on HBO, I think, last year, but this one really went into the the rioting that happened at the end of it, and why it maybe happened. The other documentary just wanted you to think, oh, it's just young people, they're just pissed off, they have no reasoning behind it. And this one actually interviewed like the founder of it, the guy there who actually passed away recently. And yeah. Well, there was a couple of people who were having a picnic, and they were upset about some things, and there was a few incidents, but it wasn't really that bad.
It's too bad a bottle of water was $28.
It's just a little campfire. It's like, how out of touch with reality was that dude? But no, I mean, yeah, there's price gouging. I mean, first of all, they had Woodstock 99 at this like fucking really ghoulish former military base, like this military installation, airport, it was like a military barracks.
Yeah,
so
decommissioned military base.
You're promoting peace, love, and understanding and freedom and all this stuff. And it's just this big fenced in, like corralling everybody like cattle. And of course, the sun and all the heat didn't help. So everybody was agitated about that. They didn't have necessary facilities or equipment or staff to really handle that many people. And the price gouging was outrageous because they outsourced that. So there was a lot of things, I think, that led to why what happened. And I think a big part of that, was just the boomers being so out of touch with the people who were born in the 80s and 70s who were there.
Well, that, and then one of the guys, he was, I think, probably in his early 20s, who was assistant or who was working on it when they were booking the bands, and they were talking about Korn and Limp Bizkit, getting those guys to come. And they're like, do you listen to Korn and Limp Bizkit? I mean, these aren't like, Peter, Paul, and Mary peace acts, These guys are going to come and like fucking rev that place up, dude. And by the time, dude, like Limp Bizkit went on and when Korn went on, dude.
Durst was like...
Dude, there was just like an explosion.
Durst was undeniable.
Oh, he was completely undeniable. It was palpable though, Mike. And then pretty boy Gavin Rosdale from Bush came out with
shirt on,
really pretty.
Yeah,
his hair was long, and he's kind of shredded, but he's kind of a femboy a little bit. Kind of a cute British femboy.
He came out there and played Glycerine and kind of eased tensions.
Yeah. But I mean, the lineup was pretty amazing. They had James Brown there too. I forgot James Brown. I don't even know if I knew. I didn't even really know a lot about that Woodstock.
Yeah, they had Brian Setzer Orchestra there too, which actually our friend Brock was one of the main reasons he wanted to go. And the Red Hot Chili Peppers were there. And I told Brock, I said, dude, I want a podcast with you just about your experience at this. And he's like, there's not really much to say about it, but
I think we could get some good stuff out of him.
Yeah, he was there all weekend.
Crack open a bottle of red and go deep. I want to hear about the sleeping situation, the drug situation, the drinking, the
breastises.
The naked women, naked people. I mean, that's horrific too. You're a woman in the middle of that, and there's just guys grabbing at you. And didn't a couple women got raped, right?
Yeah, there was a bunch. I mean, I think a lot didn't even get reported. So that was such an awful thing because they had lax security, and it was just like a mob of like just animals.
Yeah, the bros who have the necklace here, and
the frosted tips. Yeah, and you made the point, Mike. A lot of no cell phones. It was so interesting to see young people just out, and they weren't like this. Yeah,
And they weren't filming it. They were actually watching the music. They were in the moment. They were enjoying it.
What a way to watch a show. Yeah, and that's why recently, too, I watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off, because I just wanted to watch something where there was no people with cell phones.
Yeah, Puck said he watched it recently. Outrageous. It was good, Puck. I recommend that Woodstock documentary to everybody. They should check it out. They should check out Interdimensional Child Molesters. Dude, when Emmerich goes off on that, Mike.
Yeah, with his return, Alex Jones returns on Rogan, if you can still watch that, was one of the greatest podcasts ever.
It's everything. Shelley says, I had friends that went to Woodstock 99. One of them had all her clothes torn off by a group of men when she was trying to get out of the crowd, and they were groping her and shit.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Just awful behavior, and I think, yeah, they got away with it, a lot of them.
Yeah, she had to buy a dress for the rest of the night. I think the shop booth actually ended up giving the dress to her. Well, that's good. They didn't charge her $100 for it.
Yeah, and my friend said, because I asked him about all this stuff, he said, yeah, but the film, of course, sensationalized the violence towards the end and what happened. And if you look at overall how many people were at that versus how many participated in
what was the number?
That type of behavior, I forget how many they had. But he said, he of course saw the fires and saw everything that happened. And, that was later because, there was no social media either because everybody was kind of in a bubble, in a vacuum. So somebody who was at the show, of course, might not be privy to what was going on in another area, or especially like the rave area they had where they had Fatboy Slim doing a set.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody hijacked that fucking van and drove that in there.
Oh, dude. Wow. That was scary.
It was bedlam. Yeah.
So this was in Rome, New York, and it says there were about 400,000 attendees. A total of 186,000 tickets were sold, which translated into a gross take of 28.8 million.
Wow.
Ticket sales were advertised as being capped at 250,000, the capacity of the venue. So you also just had too many friggin' people there, man.
Too many people, and they were just really concerned about making money and not the logistics of the venue, or even to have it at the place where they had it back in the original. Maybe they couldn't get on that farm. Yeah. And then, I mean, there was Woodstock 94, which just be all I know is like mud, Green Day throwing mud. And so they were going to bring Woodstock back in 2019, but they didn't do it. So I think we should let sleeping dogs lie. And that's probably it.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And Shelley says, I heard a lot of complaints about the disgusting conditions with the porta potties. Yep. Expensive water, the heat. There was nowhere to shelter, and it was a giant Air Force base with pavement. So you're just getting cooked. Eventually they broke the piping for like waters for people to wash themselves and drink out of it, and that caused like some sickness.
And it was all shit.
It all went to shit.
So it smells like shit. That's because it is shit, Alston. Oh, it's a bit nutty.
The beautiful, lovely, and brilliant Carmen Smith-Studer says, hi, Jackman Radio.
Hi, Carmen.
Carmen, nice to see you. Love following you on Twitter. Love your show. Carmen's amazing. She does great work. The Donald would love to come on sometime and chat and talk about things for sure. But yeah, no, definitely a good documentary. And then what else have we watched lately that was good?
Oh, I watched a 6-part series called The Anarchists, all about people who go to an Acapulco down in down in Mexico. And that was. I didn't know a ton about that. I mean, obviously, Ron Paul has spoken at that. We know Luke Rudowski. He's a big part of that for years. And you see him quite a bit in the documentary. I'd love to talk to him about it. Jeff Berwick, who was the, founder of that conference. And what this documentary does is it really zeroes in on like a half dozen of the people and personalities that were going to that kind of from the beginning and what happened to them. Unfortunately, there was a lot of tragedy and a lot of horrible stuff. I don't want to really spoil it or give too much away, but it's more about the personal behaviors and interpersonal conflicts that they had than it is a kind of about true anarchists and what a lot of the libertarian messages, I would say. I mean, some people complained about it that it was, it was an unfair representation, but I'm pretty sure the filmmakers went down there because they were kind of interested in that philosophy, and they ended up just kind of becoming close with a lot of these people, and they let their guard down, and they let them film, and it's a pretty compelling story. I mean, it's a very interesting documentary series. It's really sad. If there's any political persuasion, there's going to be people who are naive about what the possibilities are, and just like any system, but definitely worth checking out.
Yep. Carmen says, "I love you guys. We love you, Carmen. We love Carmen, boy. We love Carmen. Both of you are always invited. Invite the Dawn on. We'll come on. We'll have a great time. We'll catch up. I want to hear about the meat initiative that you have going on down there, that you're part of, that you're supporting. I think it's I forget the name of it. I'll have to get that info from her, but it's to do with more independence from centralized control of like cattle farming and meat and that sort of thing. So.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I heard a little bit about that. I would definitely want to learn more.
And Shelley said, "I've been watching The Anarchists. I got sucked into the whole true crime aspect of it."
You do get sucked in. Yeah, a lot of shows that I watch and follow. I don't usually wait with bated breath for every week. I wait till they're all out, and then I try to binge them. But this one I was definitely excited for every week. Like, oh, it's Sunday. There's a fresh episode dropping. So
how many episodes were there?
Six.
They're an hour each?
Yeah, they're 45 minutes to an hour and 5 each, just about. Yeah.
Nice. Jordan says, "You guys have some people on from the hash scene in New Hampshire. Why is Maine hash so much better than New Hampshire hash? What can be done to fix this?"
I think Ian Stewart might be a good person to
guy.
ask.
Yeah, his name's Ian Stewart, and he's probably one of the biggest comedians in Maine, I'd say. He runs the Portland Comedy Fest that they do. He's all over the state, and he's a very big, marijuana guy. So I'm sure he'd have some answers. Let me see if I can get his info, and I'll drop it in there for you.
We had him on a couple months back, actually. If you want to check that discussion out, we talked a little bit about psychedelics and a little bit about some of the stuff he does with 420 initiatives and
friggin' Mac.
Yeah. They do. What is Welcome to Maine?
Yeah, I'm going to put that in the chat. Ian Stewart's a stand-up comedian and writer from Portland, Maine, the founder of the Portland, Maine Comedy Festival, and writer for MCC, and directs and co-stars as Mac in the popular web series Welcome to Maine. Welcome to Maine is really good. So if you just type in like Ian Stewart comedy,
Welcome to Maine on Facebook.
I'm trying to see if he has a website.
Yeah, and he actually had one of the most viral ice bucket challenges.
Oh yeah,
a bong with a bong. If you can find that was pretty cool. That was like 8 years ago, and it's the anniversary.
That's right. That was pretty good. Yeah, Carmen says it's the beef initiative. So yeah, I'll do my homework on that, Carmen, and we can talk about it. We can talk about how we can work with the beef initiative for Trump steaks and Trump burgers. Only the best from the best people for the best.
And as far as the hash scene goes, maybe we could talk to Matt Simon about that. I mean, he was kind of helping Tulsi with her policy questions that she had about, legalization.
Yeah.
He did a great panel with her here in New Hampshire. He'd be a really great resource for that, I'm sure.
Yeah, Matt Simon. They have a website. I'll get that.
Is it the Marijuana Policy Project that he's part of?
Yeah.
Or he was. I don't want to say it incorrectly, but Matt Simon, in my opinion, is one of the best. He's the gold standard for educational resources, legalization, activism. Yeah, just a real credible voice in that movement.
Yep, he's the senior legislative analyst with Marijuana Policy Project, New Hampshire CAN. I'm going to drop it in the chat here, so people can check him out. He's definitely a great resource if you have questions about hash or anything with marijuana related. He's a sharp guy. I worked with him on Gary Johnson's campaign.
Yeah, in 2012.
Yeah, he's just a really great guy. He's sharp. He's really smart, and he knows his stuff. So many hearts for Carmen. Yeah, I'll put that up right there. So yeah, NewHampshireCan.org/MPP/SaveInfowars.com. We're coming up on the 18th hour of InfoWars. I need your money, folks. I'm getting rifled by the Sandy Hook people. They're taking my money. They're draining my bank accounts, just like Donald drained his balls with Stormy Daniels. Terrible stuff, folks. Terrible stuff. We got a couple more things here. Robert Barnes said in a hush-hush that the dancing Israelis is BS. What do you guys think? Well, who is Robert Barnes, for starters? I don't know.
Is he intelligence, former intelligence guy?
It sounds like he might be a former CIA or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, one of the last times I talked to Ryan Dawson, I asked him about the Gray Zones article about the dancing Israelis, which came out almost a year ago, I think near the 20th anniversary, where they're trying to really debunk the whole thing and explain it away and basically say that Dominic Suter was engaging in other criminal activities, but nothing involving terrorism. The FBI cleared them of being involved in any terrorism, but especially if you look at Ryan Dawson's research in the films that he's made and the work looking at the original documents and the timeline, those guys were there before 846, which was the first plane. So they knew something was going to go down. And they also happened to, interestingly, be following, these hijackers and living almost down the street from them in several different locations. So there's more to it. There's definitely more to it. And, they went on that show in Israel saying that they were just there to document the event. And it's like, well, how about some follow-up on that statement? They failed lie detector tests. I mean, there's a lot there. Yeah, they had over $4,000 of cash on their person in the van. The Kurzberg brothers, and they all had plane tickets the next day or so to other countries. Yeah, you make that kind of money in 2001 just being a guy who moves stuff, right? Yeah, get that kind of money. Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, not only that, even in the FBI report, they tested it for bomb residue, and it was never followed up. What that was. That's another question that I have about that. Like, I want every single photograph released, clear as day, high quality image of every picture that's on their camera that they had, because all we got were these bullshit, grainy, horrible copy of a copy images of the high fivers. Yeah, or holding up the lighter with the towers burning in the background, or covered. Yeah, why'd they do that? What's the deal behind that? So, it's not bullshit. The urban moving systems is not bullshit. It's a piece of the puzzle and it's part of the story. And we need to have the balls to talk about it and confront it honestly, and look at the evidence, because there's a lot of evidence. There's a lot of weird things about them, and it connects to something bigger, and it's a totally, not talked about piece of the puzzle. Yeah, maybe we can get Adam Fitzgerald and Ryan on to do a little panel, because we got the 21st anniversary of 9/11 coming up, and we definitely are planning on doing some 9/11 centric feeds and episodes. So maybe that's something we can put together. Yeah, Jordan said, I heard Sam Tripoli reference these dancing Israelis. I'm pretty sure it's twerk videos on TikTok. Well, Tripoli was on a show one time, and he's like, I just want to know, like, the dancing Israelis, what were they doing? Were they doing the Macarena? Were they doing the cha-cha? What dance were they doing, Mike? Yeah, well, they weren't actually dancing. They were celebrating and high-fiving. Which is a common misconception. But, they might as well be dancing. Who the hell is going to celebrate and be happy just seeing a horrific thing take place, that happened at the World Trade Center? I heard testimony from a police officer who arrested the Israelis. Yeah, that's Scott DiCarlo, who was New Jersey police, Mike. I don't know if he was NYPD or was he New Jersey. He might have been New Jersey. I don't know 100%, but yeah, that's when they said, we're not your problem. The Palestinians are your problem. Dr. Carlo, New Jersey police sergeant. I guess he's a musician now. He does music. Yeah, he does music now, and it would be. I don't know if he does interviews or even wants to talk about it anymore. Because at the time, you kind of said this, Mike, he didn't even kind of really realize the significance of that, or just how. He might not have, but I think subsequently he got harassed and asked so many questions by researchers and people who were dumb about 9/11 that he was like, no, I'm not. I can't say I blame him. But it's an interesting story, man. It's still. It is, and Mint Press News is one of the only outlets who did really good research into it and digging into it, and obviously using a lot of Ryan Dawson's research in their publication. But the truth is out there, folks.
You know.
Yeah, I know.
So we're coming up on an hour and 10 minutes here. So we like to usually keep it at about an hour. But this was fun, Mike. You know, always good to catch up with you and do a little burning of the news and just give our musings and thoughts on shit.
Yeah, we got to do more. We do more of these. I've been trying to do kind of more just streams myself, but obviously I love doing it with Eric. It's more,
Yeah, it's
what
fun.
people are accustomed to.
Yeah, no, we enjoy it. We love doing this, so we appreciate it. And again, if you want to support this channel, $5, $10 a month, patreon.com/Jackman Radio. And we really appreciate it. It's a big help, and it will help us continue to grow. And as we move into our studio, purchase new equipment, pay to fly guests out and put them up, and just keep creating like really fun, interesting, and top-notch independent media that's people-powered by you, not by the corporations, not by MI5 or MI6 or Saudi intelligence.
Definitely. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in, and we hope you have a good rest of Monday, August 15th, and we will see you next time.
And also be sure to subscribe to this channel if you have not done so, and tell all your friends and have their friends tell their friends. Peace and love, everybody. Have a good one.